derived from the leaves of the coca plant. When cocaine enters the body, it has a strong effect on body functions by acting as an irritant on the brain. Large overdose of cocaine causes convulsions, then death. Cocaine causes unusual and often unpredictable feelings and actions. In his ignorance, Marty took that dare, little knowing the eventual horror that lay in the deadly white powder.
Marty, have you seen the painting chairs I bought last week? Can't seem to find them anywhere. Marty, you don't seem right. I'm worried about you. There's something wrong. I'm going to take you down to Dr. Vickers this afternoon for a checkup.
No, I'm all right.
As his body gradually built up intolerance, he needed more and more of the drug. Unpredictable feelings. Marty was...
Okay, we are live. Kiss Recovery 101. Ooh, my mic is... Oh, there we go. That helps. Okay, let me turn off the music. And let me turn off the banner. Turns out last time I forgot to get rid of the countdown banner there. So anybody catching it later and to be like, huh? Show starts at 8. It's already 8:30. Anyways, okay, focus. Gone. Perfect. So Jason B's back. We are wrapping up the steps. So 11 and 12. I'm excited. So again, listeners, if you go back into YouTube, keeps all the recorded shows on there. You could go back into the show and catch all the other steps to get caught up. But tonight, we're going to wrap things up. And, it's the end of the year. So it's like perfect timing. So why don't you go ahead and say hi and just where you're at. And what are you doing these days, Jason? How's your holiday spirit season thing going? I'd rather you share on that.
I'm well. Hello, everybody. But it's been a great holiday so far. Some bad things have happened, but mostly good. And it's been beautiful. Love it. And
you liking all the snow? And the
I do
freezing
like
cold
the
weather?
snow. Yes, I do like the snow. If it's going to be winter, I want some damn snow.
Okay. My tires low pressure, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, get your tires fixed. No.
I did put air in it, but it still says low pressure. What the hell? Okay, anyway. Sorry, it's making weird noises every time I start it. It's oil. Whatever. But, okay, anyway, sorry. So, listeners, if this is your first time listening, oh, look, we already got comments. Lotus Goddess. Ooh, I like that name. YouTube. Oh, it must be a YouTube channel. It's 8 o'clock. Yes, it is. And Joshua Sanders shared it. Oh, thanks, Joshua. Thank you. Yes, so it's live for a reason. I need the interactions. I want your opinions. I want your viewpoints, questions, comments. Please interact. That's the point. We got about an hour. I try to keep to that, Jason. And luckily, it's just the 2 steps. And these are 2 of my more simpler steps, let's say, versus, 4 and 5, 8 and 9. So now we're finally getting into what's called like the maintenance steps, right? Okay, so there's this beautiful program, 12 steps, and there's so many versions. I mean, different groups that follow the 12 steps, but, they're more specific to whatever, I guess, circle of people you feel comfortable. I actually align with quite a few of them, but 12 steps is nice, and especially when you find your own connection. For me, tonight I'm going to point out keywords that I was able to connect with and make the steps my own. Okay, so KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Ooh, I'm so excited. We're going to keep right to the post tonight. So, also, Recovery 101, that just beats the basics, And I like that concept because for so many years, there was so much said, and that big book was very intimidating, and a lot of old terminology, but I got lost. And that's why I loved Back to the Basics. That's what I needed to really ground me and make me feel like I could do these steps. So, okay. So, steps 11 and 12, the end for a new beginning. Final step 12 requires you to have a spiritual awakening that came as a result of completing the previous 11 steps of AA. Well, what if there was no awakening? What do so many get wrong? What if prayer does not align to your belief system? And most importantly, and that's my opinion, Jason, most importantly, what is the biggest lie no one finds out until you actually complete all 12 steps? In order, might I say. Okay? And I think you know what the lie is. What's the lie? Let's just get right to that. What's the big lie? You did all the 12 steps. Now, I really believe this. Doing Back to Basics with you, Jason, okay? Tuesday night, 6:15, Fridley Alamo. I really had this in my head going in. The biggest lie. I was like, cool, all 12 steps. I'll finally get them all done. I could say, look, lawyers in court, got it all done. Look, CPS, I did all the 12 steps. Ex-husband, everybody. I did all the 12 steps. What was the rude awakening? What do you find is the big lie?
Well, the big lie is that I'm cured. I got this completion certificate, and now I can be normal. And that's just not true. And the thing is you go through the 12 steps to learn what they're about, and then you live those 12 steps. You live those principles all the time, and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. But you are always doing these steps, always, always, always. And it sounds like some dreadful thing that you have to do, like the guy pushing the rock up the hill for eternity. No, it's a great way to live. It's the best, and we love it. So that's the big lie. You don't get a completion certificate and you're not cured suddenly. You're not going to go up, yay, I can drink normal now. Nah, it's not going to work. And that's true in all of the, like Bridge said, everybody uses these 12-step principles that they borrow from AA because it works. And it works because we work them. And another big lie is that people go, oh, just read the big book, go to AA meetings, blah, 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 and you'll stay sober. And that's not true. You work the damn steps.
Yes. Okay, well, yes, it was a rude awakening. I think I zoned out a few times. But when we came to the end and you're like, I realized that, no, it's not like you're done. Like, now you get to live and love in these steps forever. I'm like, no, I graduated. I'm done. And not that I was going to go use again, but I just wanted something to say. I did all the steps. See, I did something. I'm done. But no. And what I found, though, now, of course, where I sit today is I need those steps, certain steps specifically on a daily basis. They're a program for me, for my recovery. And again, I've made them my own and I connect with them in my own way, how I perceive them. But I love the steps now. And I had no idea that it was going to be like, I didn't realize these were steps for like life. It's like, for me, it's a great program for like self-reflection for the rest of my life, literally. So, and I'm still out there. I'm open-minded. I like hearing different perceptions, new things that are out there, new groups, new, forms of recovery. Here's what's great though, Jason, is for me anyway, the 12 steps are my foundation. So anything somebody could say, it sounds like, to a lot of people, pearls with it. I'm like, well, that just sounds like step 6, just fancier term, but that's step 6 right there, So I just remember when we were doing the Back to Basics workshops, I always had all these notes. I always had the Back to Basics books, Wally P, shout out. And it's so lovely to be where I'm at now that, I was happy you're my guest tonight. I didn't have to bring anything. I didn't have to bring any notes. Like, it's ingrained in my brain. Okay, so step 11. Do you want to read what step 11 is? And then we're going to give a little take on that. Back to basics style.
Okay, so step 11 says, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God. As we understood him. So we always reword it as sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with our higher power.
Yes. And here's what I love. So Wally P, he's known for the yellow Back to Basics. He also wrote a second book after that called, Back to the Basics of Recovery, because he also realized you got to open up that he wants the steps to be to everybody, and everybody, grew up in different religions, different cultures, different places on the earth. And so what's great about Back to Basics of Recovery is he's changed the language in his own book. Still he has the, original version, but just those words, instead of saying God or him, he's, he has higher power, or they, he realized that you can reach so many more people just changing a couple of words. I had to do that on my own, Jason. Yeah.
But I didn't finish it.
Oh yeah, finish the full step 11 in case somebody's new listening.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't finished, but okay. So sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. So insert.
So what does that mean for you? Step 11.
Well, this is probably the most important step for me, actually, because I am always working on trying to improve how I pray and how I meditate. To me, it's very, very important that I make those gratitude rituals for myself and mostly for others. We just keep improving at this. And a lot of people stumble here because they're like, well, I don't know what meditation is and I don't know how to pray. Well, intentional thinking and wishing well for somebody else, that's prayer. Saying, hey, I hope they're okay, that's prayer. Mm-hmm. If you sit and concentrate on somebody and think about their well-being, your kids or a loved one or a friend or whoever, strangers, somebody in recovery, that's meditation when you're concentrating. And this says that we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with our higher power. And every day I do step 3, where I'm turning my will over. So it says, praying only for knowledge of his will for us. Well, I don't mean the his and the God. You can put whatever words you want in there, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So praying only for knowledge of the will of my higher power and the power to carry that out. And I try to get better at that all the time. And in fact, I met with somebody yesterday that was, they're regarded as like a clairvoyant and all this and that, but they're really into meditation and stuff. And we had a discussion, and she was, giving pointers on things I could do better. So I'm trying to improve. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But I like what I'm doing right now. It's working, but it can always get better. So we try to do this, and we'll talk more about prayer and meditation because it's best not to overcomplicate things, and perfectionism is shortcoming. So nobody does anything perfect, and if they say they do, they're lying.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm mostly lying to myself. Okay, I like the 2 words conscious contact, okay, with whatever greater power, whatever it could be, the universe, it could be nature, whatever's bigger than you, okay? But for me, just that consciousness, that self-awareness, like to really finally get to a place where I'm aware of my thinking, my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings. You know, before the whole point of substance use for me was escaping all that, not feeling feelings and running away. And now I'm really conscious of, I do have my spirit guide and the universe and this, that's what I align with. But here's my favorite thing I found. Okay. And I always remember I read this in our workshops. We haven't done one for a while.
No, I know. We got to do it.
Okay. Because prayer bothered me. Because prayer to me, initially bothered me because that's religion. I did not grow up in a good... Oh, sorry, Sally. Sally is our tech assistant. Sally's powering off because we're taking too long. We'll be done in a minute, Sally. But I do have a great clip on the self-awareness. But, okay, I'll just read it. Prayer, okay? When we say that prayer is talking to a higher power, it doesn't always have to be literally in the form of actual speech. Thinking a prayer, writing it, or signing it may work for you. The key is to develop a form of prayer that feels right to you. If you have been attending AA or NA or any 12-step meetings, you have experienced saying a prayer. Even if the only prayers you say are the ones at the meetings, you have been asking a higher power to keep you sober another day for knowledge and the power to carry it out. These are habits that are helpful, healthy, and may one day save your recovery. So I like that it says, you can think it, you can write it. Like I literally have a conversation every night, a check-in with my entities. And it's not praying. Like I literally check in with my day with them, and reflect on things. And for me, I literally say, okay, this is probably too personal. I say, Father Sky, Mother Earth, hey, I would like to, would you allow me to reflect with you today? And when I end our conversation, a lot of people say, Amen. I just say, Namaste. Just for me to close it, you could, like I said, make it your own. Like in when you do the step 3, I love that, there's the step 3 prayer, but you encourage people to rewrite that shit so that, get rid of the thee and thous, but not just that, but rewrite it so it makes sense to you. So it's not what you say is lip service, it means something to you. And it could literally be a couple of sentences. It doesn't have to be a paragraph, but some kind of ritual, right? Yeah. And, I feel like I forced myself, that was good for me, to do a lot of uncomfortable things, but it got to that point where I made them my own. And now it's something that, I thrive on. I look forward to checking in with my higher powers, checking in with the universe, making sure I'm keeping my light where it needs to be. And if not, that's when I can really get deeper with other people, human beings. But anyway, meditation, here's what's fun. Okay, so people like to say prayer is more like speaking and meditation is listening. Ooh, I love that. So meditation, believe it or not, you have already been meditating every time you've stood as a community in a meeting and observed the moment of silence. Every time you are out of your own head and listening intently to the story of another person, you were meditating. This is one of the reasons meetings are the medicine for alcoholics and addicts. That reprieve that we feel from the obsessive mind and that refocusing, which brings us to the present moment, is a major part of meditation. It is a simple fact that prayer, meditation, and conscious contact calms us down and grounds us, usually helping to alleviate the fears that seem to overwhelm and threaten our recovery. That's one of the reasons that we say it works if you work it. So what do you think, Jason? Before I play this clip, any final things you like to drill home with step 11?
Well, yeah, and prayer to me isn't a religious thing. Prayer is putting good intentions out there. That's all. Mm-hmm. Meditation isn't even, people are, quiet your mind. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
Most people don't meditate Right. They think they got to meditate like they see on TV or the yoga instructor tells them. Meditation is your own conscious contact.
It really is, and it is listening, but it's like concentrating really with intention on stuff, you know. But what we're doing here is so we're given a daily reprieve contingent on our spiritual condition. Well, step 11 is doing the push-ups, you know what I mean? We look into how can we better meditate? How can we do prayer better in order to carry this message better and to be helpful to other people? And really, what's funny about this is not only are we reinforcing our third step thing, but the serenity prayer says everything we need to know. Mm-hmm. You know, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, which is everything and everybody. The courage to change the things I can, well, that's me. And the wisdom to know the difference. Duh. You know?
Yes.
But we don't realize this until we go through all those steps. Mm-hmm. Then we're at 11 and we just do our push-ups. And we get better and better at this, you know? And people, I get annoyed at people that want to tell you the right way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's their way, you know?
Yes.
Find your own deal, you know?
Yes.
You know what it is. Let it out.
Yeah. Okay. I love that you said that. Oh, there's our first alarm, Jason. We're doing great. You like it? Yeah. I'm going to change it up. Turns out I've been doing this for a year. Yeah, it says I lost connection to comments. Well, I had to, that's a troll right there. So I had to block them. And now I don't know if that messed up. But if I refresh the page, we might lose the whole the stream right now. So I'm not going to risk it. But yes, can anybody comment right now? And maybe I could at least see if that's fact or not. But no matter what, I always look at the comments after, too. Okay. So I can always respond. Okay, so this clip is about self-awareness. And what you said, what did you just say? You said something cool. Crap. Maybe it'll come to me while I play this clip. You made another good point that I love. Well, I guess mostly all I wanted to say is every time I go through these steps, I love going through the steps with new people, by the way. It's just like a whole new viewpoint. Oh, man, it's so great. But I learn more about myself. And especially every time that I've gone through it, you know, with another person, the steps, or, you know, we do these workshops. Oh, that's when I find out new things about myself. I dig deeper into my darker self, Jason. I've had so many epiphanies. So, like, I know that a lot of people, this was me, spend so much time on each step. That's nonsense. Like, that's what Back to Basics is great, is that the point is to get through the steps. At least round one, get through them all. You know, it's never going to be even close to perfect. But at least it, like, kind of comforts you. And what's great about it, the workshops, you know, is with 4, what you do is amazing. Just put it right out there. Get one off the table. Let's just do it right now. You do not have to the big long list before you even attempt it. Let's just do one right now. And it takes a lot of that fear right out of there. And for me, way overthinking and way over just like, that's why I kept doing the loop-de-loop right back in the circle. I couldn't get to 5 because I kept trying to make it all thorough and it was painful. So anyway, okay. So this clip
helped a lot with that too, so it's not just me in there.
Yeah, but you were my inspiration and you're the wise one, okay? Yeah. I put my tidbits in. I've gotten better, but like you are that consistent force too that, you know, that's why I'm so glad you're here. Keep me grounded, Jason. You reminded me of the key points because I'm always learning. Sometimes it's too much knowledge, but, you know, got to get back to the basics. Okay, so we're going to play the whole clip. It's 2 minutes, and it's self-awareness. Now, this guy's more famous. He's like a successful business person. But his point here on self-awareness, I feel like really applies to us in recovery. What's his name? Gary V. I'm not going to say that last name. Vaynerchuk.
Vaynerchuk?
Yeah. I think he's kind of like I don't know, he rubs you the wrong way sometimes. But anyway, I like this clip. And if you go to the YouTube channel Life Lessons by Motiversity. Ooh, that's a clever name. Okay, here we go.
This is a word that is rarely talked about in our space that I want to start building more attention for. Self-awareness. I want to deliver on this message so much. I would create a test or a drug that allowed people to become self-aware. One potion inject, not hustle, not smart, self-awareness. I don't fear being self-aware. I know I suck at a lot of stuff. I think everybody lies to themselves. Some people are meant to be B and C players. And I'm pissed that the narrative now is that you need to be a number one and have your company, because a lot of people are gonna lose or leave money on the table because that's just the narrative. I'm such a positive guy. I struggle to think about the things I'm bad at, but self-awareness requires understanding both and then choosing which path you want to go through. I'm a big fan of going all in on your strengths and don't give a fuck about what you suck at. Self-awareness isn't only just betting on your strengths, it's accepting all your shortcomings. Let me tell you one thing. What works for me does not necessarily work for you. I think being at peace with yourself and your skill set is such an important part of this. Too many people try to be like me because it's sizzly and it's sexy and people want to be charismatic and on stage. So many of you do so many things better than I do. You can look at like how people roll and like it's great to admire and things of that nature, but it's so damn important to stick to like your DNA. Try to get to a place where you understand yourself and understand what your strengths are. You've got to find your self-awareness. All your shortcomings are there for a reason. They're there to also allow you to be great. Deep in your brain, deep in your heart, you actually accept all those shortcomings is the second your life goes on the offense. I worry that people don't tap into their strengths. You have to audit who you actually are, because then you're not going to bullshit yourself. You're going to storytell yourself, you're going to motivate yourself, but you're not gonna bullshit yourself. And once you believe that, either for yourself or someone else told you, go directly, all chips, all into that. We've all got something, and you just need to accept what's yours and go in on that. Then you've got a starting point to success. And so self-awareness at its finest is accepting your shortcomings and accentuating your strengths. I'm an entrepreneur.
Ooh, do you like that? Yeah. Self-awareness, it really, I think, just not only accepting my shortcomings, but the fact that I'm accepting them puts it on the table. Let's let self-awareness come in. So like I used to deny the fact that I was a perfectionist. I used to deny the fact that I was a people pleaser. So was I really acknowledged that was big time shortcomings? Now I say, and I believe it now, but I used to just say it right off the bat, right out the gate. I'd say, I'm a retired people pleaser. I'm a retired perfectionist. Because for me, it's like, I know that still could be my tendency and I go to that, but I've grown so far from that. And I almost say that, especially in a lot of women's groups that I go to, because that is a key thing, especially as women. We're just caretakers, and people please, we just want to take care of everybody around us, and we're last on the list. So right there, I put it out there. Well, I'm a retired people pleaser and a retired perfectionist, just so that they know, like, I'm aligned with what you're talking about, but you can change that narrative if you really work at it. Okay, and Jason, get some thoughts in here. I'm going to try refreshing the page. I'm going to try doing that. Hopefully it doesn't kick us off, but then we'll come back and we'll start with 12.
Cool. And what he was saying there, which this is what makes step 4 and 5 so effective for us, is that we accept that we have these shortcomings, and then we try to improve on that. We use our strengths to improve on how can I catch myself with these shortcomings, because you can't fix a problem until you identify it. Mm-hmm. And part of our problem before was in total denial that we're this way. I'm not judgmental, I'm not selfish, I'm all that shit.
Yeah. Yes.
And now I can catch myself and try to be better. I'm still a judgmental asshole, but I can catch myself now, and I can look at it, and if somebody calls me out on it, we're not having a fist fight, so yeah. I love it, and we just get better and better. But, yeah.
Well, that's why I think, like, those meetings, like, first of all, definitely branch out, get to different meetings, hear different people's insights and viewpoints. But the workshops are wonderful because, for me, voicing my questions, voicing my shortcomings, voicing, things I don't agree with, allowed in a safe space. And people that I trusted and knew were looking out for my best interest because they cared about me, allowed me to get into a deeper, conscious contact with myself and really be able to start opening. Like with our workshop, there was that moment, Jason, I would use myself as the example, and I would always list out, like a family member or somebody as on my 4th step that had resentments, and literally I almost cried. But like our second workshop, I listed out my ex, I listed out I was upset because of these things, it affected these things. I shared the shit literally after I was done talking, and other people started sharing, shared theirs. it hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, holy fuck, that isn't accurate. It was like a flashback because there's a lot of things I've blocked out. I actually remembered a deeper seed in my brain back then. The truth was, and it's not like I was lying, but I didn't even remember where my head was at. You know, that was a year and a half ago. Well, back then. I remember being at a state where I was allowing him to party and drink and do those things in front of me. I said I was okay with it, but in the back of my mind, I thought, if I'm okay with him doing these things now, even though he knows I'm in recovery, later he'll be okay with me if I start again. I couldn't remember that, you know, because there was so much later that happened in life that was way more painful or hurtful, and he did to me, I did to him, that I had forgotten where my mind was at because I had almost a year at that point too. So anyway, get lost in the oblivion. Okay, we're going to try refresh it. Here we go, everybody. I feel bad. Look at that. This inappropriate people I had to block, and now it messed up my stuff. So we're going to try to refresh, and hopefully it doesn't kick off the whole show. Ready? Go. Okay, it says reload. And okay. I don't know. I hope that worked. Okay, listeners. I hope that worked. I hope we're back. Ooh, just in time for the alarm. Yeah. Okay, try again commenting. Otherwise, I give up, Jason. It's just going to be crickets. It's me and you. Okay. And either way, there's 2 more weeks left in December here, Jason. You might have to come back. We'll have to just do it again. Okay.
How can you tell?
Half kidding. Oh, well, okay, I do see 3 viewers, so that's awesome. However, the posting situation is going on. Maybe if I click out of here, go back into here. Okay, I'm just going to stop. It's annoying anybody listening right now. Technical difficulties, moving on. Okay, that was the alarm. We're not going to do you want to do the hot seat?
Sure, I mean, whatever.
Let's go back and forth, Jason. Okay, I'm going to start you off with a nice question.
Okay.
And then you hit me with a question. Okay?
All right.
I don't think we need the sound effect because it's burning hot in this room right now. This is my hoodie on, all my layers. Okay, Jason. One of my favorite questions. Let's see. Okay, let's say, this is really just off the top of my head right now. It's Christmas time. You get a box full of coal, okay? Why do you think, we'll say whatever the guy's called, St. Nick. Santa. Okay, Santa. I don't celebrate Christmas. I'm Yule. Okay, so you got a bunch of coal. This year, what's one reason you think you're a naughty, Jason?
Oh.
You're a bad person. What happened? That's your question. How you like that? I just came up with that.
Well, I know I probably got that coal because, you know, I wanted to voice. I use somebody else's voice to somebody else.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That you know, it wasn't me, but it was like I was wanting to be that person or advocate for something. It's not my place, and I fucked up, and it's hard to live that down. And after the action is taken, you can't take it back, you know. And it's like when it was completely against what I believe in, and so it was like I don't know. Yeah, that's why, because I didn't listen to my inner self, which is always right. My intuition is it is always right. I F up when I don't listen to it. Yes, that's what. That's why.
That's a good answer, you know, because I feel like self-awareness is we got those intuitions and gut feelings, but if we go against them for logical reasons, Jason, that's okay. I'll give you that answer to that, but you don't get coal for that one. You know, you meant well, and it takes things later to figure out. Well, whatever. Could have went, a different way. Right, but you learn, and like, I think, yes, I still have those woulda, coulda, shoulda things, moments, but I will, like, yeah, there's been some nights that I've stayed up late and been like, man, I wish I would have whatever. But I can't change that. So what I'll do is, well, some people I don't know very well and I don't care. I mean, not that I don't care, but there's no point really to go back and find them and fix anything. But for the people that I do care about, you know, I will take that time and process it with them. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about your situation per se. Like recently, there's been some stuff. And I reached out, and then, you know, if they reject me and they don't want to, like, that's fine. I'm going to give them that space, but at least I know I attempted that. But the other times it's been, we had the conversation and we just agreed to disagree. But we had that still mutual respect for each other. And, you know, I think that's what makes really great relationships and friendships work is you're never going to all agree on stuff, but you can still respect and care about that person. You know, and move on from that. And yes, we're all humans. Oh, that was okay. Now it just popped in my head. ADHD, Jason. That simple everything we were talking about. Yeah. Okay, here's something funny that came to my head that I really quickly wanted to point out. I know that. Oh shit! It just flew out again. Never mind. Hopefully it'll come back. I'll write it down next time. Let's get into. I think that's good. Do we need to do any more hot seat? No. Let's move on. You've done enough hot seat questions, poor Jason. Okay, step 12. Go ahead and read. What's step 12, Jason? Tell the listeners.
Okay. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to other alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and tell them what that means?
What that means is that you graduated now and you can go drink normal. No!
Lies!
So, the thing about it says, having had a spiritual awakening, well, not many of us have this big epiphanal moment where it's like, oh, you know, the angels descend and, you know, we have this. She keeps taking all this stuff.
You keep touching. Everybody can hear all the table stuff touching. Okay, continue.
Okay.
There's a loud fidget here.
There's a fire going on.
Fidget with your hat. Fidget with your hat.
But anyway, but just like it says in the big book, most of these spiritual experiences happen slowly and eventually, and a lot of times we're not even aware of it. And what's happening is when you hear the promises, those are the 9th step promises. So don't forget that. Those are the promises are the 9th step promises that say if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, well, when we get to this point where we're doing the 9th step, these promises start happening. And it is a spiritual and moving thing. And it's like, I can't believe these things are happening, but they are. And people notice it almost in, I'd say about 8 or 9, 10 times out of 10 with sponsees and people I know in the program. Other people are noticing these spiritual things happening. You're improving and becoming better even before you're aware of it. But we have this spiritual experience even if we based our whole belief, our higher power, on the willingness to think that it's going to happen. Because this happened with me. And just the willingness to believe that there was a power greater than myself is all it took. And it says that right in the big book. That's all it took. And it was incredible. And what happens now is that we're leaving selfishness behind. Well, we're improving on it. And now the way that we're going to keep our sobriety is we're the ones that can help other alcoholics and addicts. We're the ones that can do that, and they don't have to pay us any money, and we don't cost, it's free 99, right? I always say that.
Yes.
But it's free 99, but we're responsible, that responsibility statement, we're responsible for helping people who reach out, for us, because we're the ones that can help them. We understand. And even if you just burned through these steps and you're like, I'm still kind of shaky on them. Well, if you want to really get better at them, sponsor somebody. Mm-hmm. Have your sponsor help you sponsor somebody, but sponsor somebody because you learn by teaching. And when you're meeting with somebody, you kind of want to hone up on your skills so that you feel like you know what you're talking about, or at least have some some good ground to stand on. And so you'll improve. And so that's what you're doing. In step 12, all of a sudden we're like, wow, this has worked, and I'm doing my prayers or whatever my meditation, I'm getting better. I do my 3rd step, my 7th step. I'm, working this program. And now things have changed, and we're going to practice these principles that we've learned in everything we do. And the things that you really want to carry into what you do are just the how. Honesty, open-mindedness, willingness. Keep those at the top of the principles, but there's others. But those 3, there's a whole chapter that says how it works, but I do acronym how, and then : it works. Right?
Yes. Well, and I attended this one this one woman, she shared a story, and she did not like the idea. There's the whole chapter of working with others, right? At step 12 and all that. She was like, I just did a bunch of work. I don't want to do a bunch of work. But all she did was change the word. Her sponsor, somebody had her change the word work into love. So loving with others. Yeah. That changed it all for her. That was like an aha moment. Like, yes. And in life, I find this works for me, but the geniuses have been sharing this. I'm like, oh, I already do that. But the best way to learn something is to teach something, Jason. So once I did this 12 steps, right, I still really didn't feel that qualified. I had so many reuses and ins and out, ditches and bad stories. I didn't think I was qualified, but, attending the back to basics, doing the, you guys said I was qualified. So, I wasn't alone. Like I had my spots, I had other mentors with me. So it's not like, but I remember just jumping in and working with the newcomer, because no matter what, I got a day, I got a week, I got a year, whatever amount of time more than them. And that's more wisdom. That's more lived experience. And it really comes down to who you connect with. I connect with people that have 2 years, have 6 months, or have 15 or 20 years. I feel like we're all just spirits living this human life here. So while you connect, you never know. But I learned the steps like really ingrained by going through them with other people, It helped me get outside of myself. And then teaching the workshops. Oh, Jason, you remember the couple of workshops? I had all the papers and all the props because I didn't feel confident in myself. But doing that got me to that point where, without even realizing it did just become my MO. Like it just became within me. I don't need books anymore. I don't need it. I used to carry lots of books around with me. I don't even need them anymore. Someone says one word or 2 words, let's say spiritual awakening. Boom, it triggers 10 thoughts in my head. So for me, spiritual awakening, right? I didn't have no spiritual awakening. I like the way you used to say spiritual experience because it's plural for me. I had experiences that for whatever shot an arrow into my heart. It woke up my spirit. I was dead inside for a very long time, Jason. Like I was emotionally dead. I didn't even realize it. I was a walking, just lost person. And so I was just so numb, like looking back, I was numbing myself out from pain and stuff, but I was also numbing myself out for joy too, Jason. So anyway, but I just remember those, you could call it whatever you want, but those experiences. And I guess for me, an awakening was like, even after I almost died, okay, it's not like I was really awakened until I walked into a meeting and this group of people just loved me because of me, but just because they were able to, like, they just loved me because I was up here and coming in and crying. And, I wasn't even crying and like I was crying angrily, by the way. I was pissed off. It was this time of year. I lost my kids. And these people just showed me so much love. Not even my own friends and family at that time ever even looked at me like that. And I thought that was what I needed for like 4 days. It was just this weird, like I was still having my issues, let me tell you, but it was this changing experience. And that's what I say. I was awakened to, okay, there is still love and hope in my heart. I mean, these people care about me. Why? No, but really it like warmed my cold, dead heart at that time. Like, some people out there are nice, okay. And I just remember like this wave of 4 days, but I'm really into the nerdy stuff. So there's 3D living people, just what you see is in front of you. You do accept that. But they say when you cross over to that 5D dimension living is more like they say you have to have a spiritual kind of like awakening. Well, for me, anybody in recovery, you have that moment. You have this awakening or experience that there's so much more to life. There's so much outside of what you are even seeing. I call it the sixth sense. You can feel that intuition, right? You can feel these things, these intentions, these purposes, so many bigger things. And I mean, I just describe it as like, but you can let that go. So it's like a practice. It's like a ritual. It's like I have to make that intention every day to keep growing that 5D living experience. Because if I don't, I could follow along with the sheep. It'd be really easy to sit on my couch and watch Netflix and order pizza and fuck everybody else. Some days I really like to do that, Jason. But I don't.
I don't.
Yes. And that's why I make sure to check in with my universe peeps. But talking about it amongst other people that I feel, especially, there's a lot of us in recovery that are awakened to whatever life I call it hell on earth right now, Jason. I feel like there's other way cooler universes out there, but I'm getting frou-frou. But the point is, when I meditate, there's no words, and I'm listening, but I'm not listening for voices. I'm not listening for sound as most people know it. I'm more listening to feelings and colors, and certain weird stuff happens, Jason. I'll get a ring in my ears, or I'll feel this, whatever. Okay. But I'm open to it. So the how, HOW, honesty, open-mindedness, the most important to be is willing. Because I've ever been all willing, and I thought I was being really honest. I was being brutally honest. Sometimes it was too much honesty. And I was open, but I really wasn't honest and open to my full capacity. Thank goodness I was at least willing, because the more willing, the more I was able to open up, and the more I was able to really be honest with myself, Jason. Yes. That was the last alarm. Yes. We're not getting no comments. Sad, but it's okay. People are still listening, and again, I'll check in with them later. Any final thoughts, Jason?
The book used to, when they were finalizing the book, it used to say spiritual experience.
Yes.
And I wish they would have kept that, because they decided on spiritual awakening because they thought it sounded less like the big epiphanal moment. I think the opposite's true.
I agree.
We have this spiritual experience. So however you want to view it, it's like that. And we've shut ourselves off from that. And when we actually let our emotions flow and we have this experience, it's now we're wide open, and it's so cool. And just like Bridge was saying, the magic of the universe. When we were kids, the mystery of the world was beautiful, and we lost that because it was beat out of us, and we drank and we numbed ourselves. We did all kinds of dope or whatever we did to shut ourselves off from this thing, this power. And when it comes back to us, it's like, wow, the world is magical. The universe is a magical and unbelievably mysterious and beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. But in order to keep it, we got to give it away. And that's why we do the servicing, and we share with people. We clean our club. We go speak at treatment facilities. We're reaching out all the time. And if somebody needs help, we're going to help them, because that's how we stay sober. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean, that's there's so much more I could say, but that'll do. Yes,
that'll do. And they can come Tuesdays at Fridley Alano, right off University. 6:15 is Back to Basics, going through the steps weekly. But go ahead.
I wanted to talk about, so everybody has their own path on this, and what it was helpful having Bridge was very, very helpful for me, because I'm kind of by the seat of my pants, just kind of But Bridge was very organized and came in with all these things that helped so much to develop what we have now, which has grown so much. And it's I think we have a really great thing. And if you ever get a chance to go through a program like the Back to Basics, it works so well, because it's like a class, but we break the ice, we get it rolling, we take the fear out of it. It's fantastic. But everybody brings their own strengths to the table here. There's no one way to do anything. And when you're open-minded and honest and willing, of course, the willingness being key for me and Bridge, if you're willing to do this, you're willing to go to any lengths, you're going to listen what other people have to say, and it's going to have an effect on you, and it's going to be great when you discover your own truths. But that's what it's all about.
100%. See, that was beautiful. Finding my own truth and just aligning with that. And it was so beautiful because I don't know how to explain it. Like, I still really care a lot about other people. However, I've really learned to care about me more. And it sounds selfish, like even saying that out loud, but it's not like I care like more about me and what I look like or whatever I need to sell smart or whatever. No, it's more like I need to make sure that I'm doing my spiritual maintenance. I'm checking in with myself so I feel right with my intentions and my purpose every day. Like I'm good with me and allowing, to fill my cup. Make sure I'm good on my energy. We're all just energy, Jason, by the way. You know that, right? So that I can give that fruitfully to other people. Because yes, I want to give that all out. However, if I notice there's the energy vampires, they're sucking all my energy, they're not ready or they're making excuses, which I can tell the difference between making excuses for me or making excuses for themselves. I can tell that either they're ready or they're not. But no matter what, I'm not going anywhere, Jason. But I'm not going to be doing all this work. Either we're doing this work together, like I'm here with you, or we're just going to pause. I'll be here waiting, So, okay. We're getting into the beeves. Any other last things? I just want to reiterate, though, I never felt like a mentor or sponsor because I didn't feel like I was qualified. But realizing that there is no qualifications, really, Jason. I mean, as long as your intent is to give back and your heart is true, you're not seeking it for any other, evil reasons, like you want popularity or I did this good thing, I'm a good person. I really just did it because, well, somebody told me whatever I share helps, and I just wanted to help people. And so I found that, I'll share this and that. And I'm not saying anything to blow minds, but one woman will come up to me and say, what you shared was what I needed to hear. Like, that happened to me too. And I didn't think anybody else. That's all I need, And so, yeah. But to go through all this steps, okay? There's no timeline, but quickly and often, really. Because that's the lie. You're going to keep going through them, really. But once it becomes more of my lifestyle rather than, the program, I don't even think about it anymore. I can gauge where a person's at on their timeline. And what's sad is there's so many people that are, old timers, you want to call them, or they're returning, they come a lot, but I could tell that they stayed stuck in those steps where they were at. But, I don't go at them, but I like to just share little things in the meeting that might change a little bit of where they've been. Because, it's good to keep willing and open, Jason. You can be honest to me if you want, but I'm going to be honest too. Okay, me time, Jason. Is it your favorite? Okay, I made sure to pick a couple holiday ones. Okay, I'll be honest, Jason. I had to go on to shout out there's Cindy and Leah. I know their pages always have funny ones. I have really many funny memes, Jason, that I screenshot. I've been having a rough week. So I had to steal some funny ones from them. So there are some funny ones, but there's some deeper, heavier ones I think that are beneficial. We got to play the sound effects. Which, go ahead. Yes, please. I got to get this ready.
So before the memes come on, they're the best slogan that I've seen. I love this is, I dream of a world where chickens can cross the road without having their motives questioned.
Jason, I think you shared that last time. Or did you share it off camera? No, that's good. I love that one. Yeah. And that's so true. Mm-hmm. Poor chickies. I love chickens. I do love them. Oh, let's change that. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of. Okay. All right. Oh, it's my favorite. Hold on. I flashed it, but let me do. See my app now? I guess the free thing is done. So it would it's a pain in the ass to. See? Look, I can do this. Hold on. I got it muted. I have to get through the commercial to play the sound effect. But I refuse to pay $5.99 for 2 sound effects, Jason. No. And I just don't want to download any more shit on my... Right. Oh, here we go. Okay, now I'm going to turn it up. These are my favorite. It makes it official. Game time! Okay, so listeners, if you got a smartphone, you can see right now there's a meme up there. And I just love this. So all I do is during my week, screenshot my favorite memes for whatever reason. And like Facebook, Jason does not have Facebook, so we're doing this shit live. He's going to comment and talk about them. Hearts, likes, laughs out loud. But go ahead, Jason. Oh, but there are a few people like you that have the ancient phones that you can't see the memes. So go ahead, describe to your peoples there, Jason. What are you looking at?
This would be tough when I just have my landline. Anyway, so is that like an opossum?
It's a possum, I think.
Yeah. There's an opossum looking at the screen. But it says, when you know social media is a shithole for toxic people, but you love memes.
But you love memes.
I accept chaos is what that's what
This is me, Jason.
the opossum's doing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I do too, but yeah.
Is it worth it? Yeah. Some days it's not worth it. I'll tell you this, especially the last few days, I've just not been on social media at all. No. Okay, that's why I probably had very, very few memes, but you know, I got to get my memes, you know, and I got to check back in just to get, but yes, social media is a shit show. It's a circus. But yeah, I accept the chaos for a good 20 minutes just to get my meme fill. Okay. Meme number 2, Jason. Oh, describe the picture first.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is like it's a cookie cutter that has like bite marks in the cookie cutter. So it's the template to make cookies that look like they have a bite taken out of them. I love it. And it says how to keep all the cookies to yourself. Yes. And I'm the big sweets hog in the house. So.
Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to eat your cookies.
Brilliant. I want one.
Yeah. But that doesn't apply to 4 and 6-year-olds, let me tell you, Jason. No, but yes, my teenagers, my 3 older ones, actually my 12-year-old, she'd probably consider it. But yeah, the older ones wouldn't touch it. But that's great. Nobody's going to eat my food. Okay, meme number 3. Ooh, you'll like this one. I picked this one for you. Top picture.
Nice.
You're in class.
Okay, so it's like these black and white stick drawings, and these kids are in class, right? And the kid behind, it says universe, and the person in front, it says ego, and they're like passing a note. So universe is passing a note to ego, so ego is reaching behind him to get the note from the universe. And on the bottom frame, he's got an angry look on his face because he read the note, and the note from the universe says, be comfortable with not knowing.
Yeah. Do you like that?
I love that. Because, yeah, this is what this is all about. Deliver us from ego, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, man, you got to accept that you just don't know. And the biggest fool you can make out of yourself is pretending like you do know and just keep going on and on with some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Pretending like your plans are really your plans. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that never works out. Yeah, see, I got it tattooed on my arm, Jason. Nice. And I love that it says, you know, the courage, you know, that, accept the things that I cannot change, okay, but it takes courage, you know, that's where fear held me back, was that being able to change the things that I can, you know, anxiety, Jason, like until I really pushed through that fear, that anxiety, my courage was very minimal then, but now, like, as soon as I feel fear or anxiety, I'm like, uh-oh, this is something the universe says you gotta do. You know, as long as it's not like jumping off a cliff, like risking my life, but talking in front of people or accepting a new position or a new whatever, somebody wants me to go do something, like, if my first instinct is fear and anxiety, I gotta say yes. Well, my brain wants to say no because I'm scared. That means I have to say yes. Yeah. And plus, I can always, you know, process later and be like, actually, this probably won't be a good idea for me to go in this all men's place and share by myself. Not a good idea. Yeah. Okay, next meme. Ooh. Words.
Word up. Okay, they're words. White words on a black background. And it says, when you keep criticizing your kids, they don't stop loving you. They stop loving themselves. Let that sink in.
Ooh, I remember that would hit me.
Man, you know, and talk about fear and anxiety. I'm homeschooling my youngest, and I have a lot of fear and anxiety around this because, you know, I have to be comfortable with not knowing, just like your other meme. Yeah. Did you pick these for me, Bridge?
Not all of them. No. Not this one.
But it's so true. And man, my anxiety and fears can come out in anger, and I'll be critical of my boy. and it says they stop loving themselves. Well, he's also pretty mature, and I think it shows a lot when I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow up like that. I mean, I don't know. I can catch myself, and so it's somewhat healthy. But man, you got to be careful of that. That's so true. When you keep criticizing your kids, they don't stop loving you. They stop loving themselves.
Yes. Okay, and this was okay. What you described it with your boy is this me and my daughter, Jason. And like I'll snap back sometimes, right? But and now we have a code word, ice cream. By the way, if I notice one of us catches that, we're just going at it, and it's never like crazy dramatic. But anyway, taking that moment, I know it is because I'm scared. I see these things she's doing or saying, and it scares me. I know that horrible, scary world that's out there. And these things that we're having a discussion about, I'm having the anxiety of a mom, but she's not comprehending that you can't trust everybody. And you can't just up and do these things. I try to instill with her her own confidence and her abilities to trust her instincts. She's done very, very well, but she wants to go to somebody new house with 4 brothers, the Bobs, they live in Minneapolis, and I'm just like, okay, you're not just going to go there. Well, Dad will take me. Okay, no, he's not, because now I'm going to call and make sure you don't just get dropped off there. My one rule is I'm fine with all the friends that she has now, but I need to walk into the house and meet the parents and meet who's living there. Because in my own experience, it only takes a couple minutes that can ruin your whole fucking life, or at least your childhood, And you think it's 90% of the people that hurt you are people that they're not strangers, Jason. That's a myth. So, anywho, but yes, and then all I have to do is check in with her face. If I start actually looking in her eyes, I see her face. Even though she's spewing out anger, I see that it's more hurt. Then I realize I need to check myself. She gets hurt when she doesn't feel I trust her. And so I have to sit back and say, honey, it's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust the rest of the world. Yes. Okay, next meme. Oh, this is a funny one, Jason. Here's a guy. I love the Leonardo DiCaprio memes because that face.
Nice.
He looks like he's laughing.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the top?
Okay, so the top one's Leonardo. And he's got this look on his face, and he's got all these controls. He's sitting behind the wheel of this. And it says, when a snowplow driver sees me finishing up my driveway. And so there's this big, on the bottom frame, it says plow coming by, and somebody's at the bottom of their driveway just finishing and dumping the snow all over their damn. We all know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
They're just waiting. They're like, oh, yeah, right, we got your ass.
Yeah. That's been this week, right, Jason? Oh, what a nightmare. Okay, view number 6. Oh, you know the classic Christmas movies, right? Go ahead, describe.
Even among, okay, so they got, it's the Klondike guy from the animated old Christmas stuff.
Rudolph, right?
Yeah, Rudolph the Red. And it's the Klondike, what was his name?
I don't remember.
But he's always looking for gold,
Yeah.
But they just got a photo of him, and it says, even among misfits, you're
a misfit.
A misfit.
And what does it say?
Finally, I can't read the bottom part.
Finally, someone who understands me.
Finally, someone who understands me, yes.
It's beautiful. Okay, this... I'll really quickly, this meme is brilliant in so many ways, okay? So if you go to the business offices or whatever organizations, they'll have those one-word posters that say... positive something, affirmation, whatever the joke. This is a joke. But anyway, I like how this one is made for that, but it says, finally! And even among method. So, Jason, that's how I feel in my community sometimes. I'm getting used to, you're going to have haters, but whatever, I get that. But it's more discerning when I feel like there is that connection and we have similar mindsets, and then I find out they're talking shit about me. That's when I'm like, why? What happened? Am I really a misfit? Am I really that weird? I'm not that weird, Jason. And I feel like I don't care what anybody says, but I have to say shit that's on my mind. Because if I go home and I stew on it, it's not good, Jason. And I always mean well. And yes, sometimes I want to punch myself in the face. I'm too cheerful, positive, whatever. Annoying. That's fine. I can accept that, but I cannot a lot of times there's been a moment recently at a teacher's school. I called out the principal, Jason. I said, okay, he brought up things. He said something to my friend, but I watched him. He lost his temper. He raised his voice. He called my friend out for interrupting to say he was disrespectful. Woo, Jason! I took a minute. I let him finish talking for a minute, and I said, wait. And everybody was at silence of, holy shit, what the hell? And I said, I let him finish, and I said, wait, before we continue, what you just did there, your face, I watched your face. It's red now. Your facial expression and your demeanor did not have any respect for this woman who showed up. All four of us are here to show up to advocate for our daughter. You should want to give us that time, like what you're displaying. You're saying my daughter's disrespectful and that person's disrespectful. You yelling and how you lost control there, that's disrespectful. Now, old me never would have said nothing to Mr. Principal. And old me would have, I felt it in my gut, Jason. Like I wanted to vomit when he did that. Like old me would just walked away, rushed out, and I didn't shake his head either, Jason. But I made a point to just tell him, because I don't think a lot of people say it to him. But look how you just reacted. You raised your voice. Your face is red. And you called someone out, so I'm calling you out. I don't know if you're aware that you're an asshole too. Sorry. I don't really think he's an asshole. I think he has a lot on his plate, but he was being a hypocrite. Anyway, moving on. But old me definitely wouldn't have said nothing, and nobody else in that damn room was going to say anything. And I stirred on that for a couple days, Jason. I sent a very nice email, by the way. But when it comes to the kids, so she wasn't there, but I just had to make that point, because I actually said to him, here's what I said. I'm proud of myself, Jason. I said, if you talk to a grown woman like that, I cannot imagine how you talk to my daughter. Boom! Mic drop, Jason! Okay, continue. Sorry, this is just words.
Anyway, okay, so the next one says, I think I need glasses because I keep seeing a lot of people with two faces.
Ooh.
Ain't that truth?
Yes. I think that one speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hardly need to even comment about that one.
I don't even need to wear glasses.
No.
Yeah.
And the program teaches me to be not one person here and another person there. I'm who I am all the time. I mostly have been, but when I'm drunk, I'm Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, 100%.
Big time.
Yes, well, I'm very nice when I'm drunk, Jason. Because I won't tell you all the things I'm thinking, and I'll just let you say all the dumb things you want, and whatever. I'll laugh it off, but the next day it's not a good look, Jason. So. Oh, yes, and let's talk about that really quickly. So on that same note, there's a different piece. I have a special place in my heart for everybody in recovery. And yes, I can I just have more compassion. And yes, I do have more compassion. I have compassion for everybody, but I have a special place in my heart for my peeps, Jason. And so I can accept, to meet them where they're at, right? Because I was there for a very long time. But don't think you got something on me. They think they're fooling me. I thought I was fooling everybody, Jason. So again, I don't call people out, I might ask certain questions. I might plant certain seeds. But for me, that would put me right on defense mode. And I would disappear. Yeah. So, but I find that they'll find their own way. But yeah, people are just, I don't know. And Jason, that's why I struggle too sometimes. We had a moment, Jason. And I was caught off guard. And I felt it. And I just said, I do feel defensive right now. And I'm upset. But I don't know what to say about it right now. Because I didn't want to say anything bad. But I'm like, no, I am angry. I'm upset right now. I'm defensive. But we'll talk about it later. I'm not hating, but just give me a minute. Yeah. Okay. Next meme.
And that's growth and maturity.
Oh, you got it. You got the emails. I hope you didn't read them.
Yes. The emails?
Yeah, I sent you that one email with the paragraph.
Oh, yeah.
The cool article.
Yeah.
To align my point.
Yeah. But anyway.
This is a nice one.
It says, so it's two hands with a painting of the world on them, which is cool, making the heart shape.
Yeah.
And inside of it, it says, the world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. Indubitably. That is so true.
Right.
And that's why I have the bumper sticker that I made for my car that says, no opinion.
I like that. Oh, I still have your other one.
Yeah.
Get off your app or whatever.
Yeah. Pull your head out of your head.
Pull your head out of your app. Yep. Okay, I need your new one. And I love this one. And that's just more it lines with, actions speak louder than words. Like, I just don't talk anymore. I'm a doer. A doer.
Yeah.
I'm done explaining myself. I just do the things. Okay. Second to last meme, Jason. That's the Baby Yoda. I forget what the real name is. That's not actually Baby Yoda, but same species. Baby Yoda said. Okay, go ahead and read it. I'm sorry.
I only know it because my boy watched this. I think I watched a lot of them with him. Yeah, the Mandalorian.
Yes.
So it's the little toy Yoda. No, it's the little Yoda guy. Well, I can't see what the first words say. Can you scroll
there's
down?
hearts in the waist. No, you cannot. Don't do that.
Push
y'all
buttons.
remember, something y'all.
Okay, but Yoda's sitting there, or the little baby,
look it up on my
thingamajig.
Okay. What does Baby Yoda say? Oh, yes. I remember this one. It's kind of insulting, but really it's more for fun. Here is it. Okay, the first word says, do y'all remember?
Okay, yeah. And so this is what he's saying. He's got his hands together, and it's like he's holding something, but he's thinking, he's looking thoughtful, and he says, do y'all remember before the internet that people thought the cause of stupidity was the lack of access to information? And he says, yeah, it wasn't that.
It actually wasn't that.
Yeah, because honestly, man, people, to me, in my opinion, people have gotten much dumber.
Oh.
And the
They
stupidity
think they know
out
more
there.
than everything. The internet's facts, Jason.
Yeah, it's so much BS out there. That's why I don't partake.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I've had a couple moments where I'm like, wait, what did you just say? I pretend like I didn't hear. Can you just repeat what you just said? And then I repeat it back to them slowly, and I'm like, now that makes sense to you? What you just said. And I see their brain twitching for a minute. And I'm like, okay, where did you get that information? Oh, the internet. Oh, okay, from a news channel. Okay, it must be a fact.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But just actually say it out loud, and then to have me say it to them, I could see their wheels turning for a minute. But yeah, that doesn't make sense in reality. Oh God, common sense. Okay, last final meme, Jason. Ooh, Maya Angelou. She's my favorite. Quotes. Here we go.
All right. And she said, forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Yes. Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it.
Yeah.
Well, we usually learn things the hard way, and then
Yes.
after we learned what we learned, we're like, oh, shit, I wish I would have knew that before. But you got to forgive yourself for not knowing.
Yes.
Because you just didn't know.
Yes. And the truth of the matter was, I didn't even know myself, Jason. And really, I could not really surrender. I could not really get to my true honesty until I forgave myself. That was a big roadblock for me.
Yeah.
But I think for me too also, it's heartbreaking. Like, it's really hard sometimes being on the other side, knowing that they have so much work to get through. It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard. But do it now. Because if you just keep going back, you're torturing. I was just torturing myself. And you don't know what you know till you know it. Today. And there's so much through this program and through my self-reflection and through these steps that have awakened me to this whole another level of life that I had no idea even existed, A. But B, it's really helped me unlock a lot of things within myself, Jason. Like, yes, I have a little bit of anxiety and fear, but really I never would picture myself as the person who will just get up and start talking to anybody and everybody. It's so weird now. I'm a totally different person. Like my son, he's got a job now. Okay. And he gets so nervous just talking to people. It's like, well, what should I say? I'm like, just go up there and say hi. But what if no, just go introduce yourself, But that was me. As an adult, 35 years old, I'm like, I can't make friends, Jason. What if she doesn't like me? Just go start. Now I just talk to anybody and everybody. Yeah.
That's good.
But, and yes, some people think I'm weird. I don't care, but that's okay. At least I'm being me, At least I'm true to me. And call me on my shit, I've had people tell me some truths. It hurt at first, I'll tell you, because they're my friends. They're like, well, you kind of do this a little too much. Ooh, that does sting for a minute, but it's their truth. So I have this new assignment that I'm working on. Okay. Ugh. Oh, maybe I'll share them next week. There's 5 things you can do to self-awareness. One thing assignment I've never heard before. Ask people what they really think of you, Jason. Is it scary? Okay, so here, okay. A lot of my friends.
What if I don't give a shit?
Yeah, a lot of my friends. Well, I want the truth, okay? But they don't have to tell you to your face. But a lot of my friends don't want it, whatever. So here's the best part. Here's what I'm going to do, Jason. I'm going to have them keep it anonymous. Write it down. You know, you don't have to tell me who said what. You want to type it up so I don't recognize your writing. But I want that truth because I can't know what other perspectives are. And I want to hear that, especially if there's things I could change for the better. And yes, I'm not going to ask the next door mean girl. Fuck that. I know what that's going to look like. But like the people that have been in my life and I've worked with, or, you know, just whatever interactions that for the most part I thought are positive. But I want that truth. I need it because it might hurt for a minute, but that's the only way I'm going to grow. And it's scary though, Jason. Ooh, it's scary. But I feel like once I get those cards or papers back, I'm not going to sit alone and read them. I'll be embarrassed. Whoever I'm like, hey, you got to do this with me. But I won't be alone because otherwise I'll beat myself up, Jason. Okay, so steps 11 and 12. Last thoughts. What's your takeaway, Jason? What should someone take away if they say, okay, service. Okay, so I did 12 and you want me to give back. You want me to, what if I feel like I don't know what I'm doing? Like, what if I feel like, how do I even do that? You know what I say? Here's what I say. Start raising your motherfucking hand. I did not feel comfortable doing it, but I still did it. So raise your hand. Say, yes, I would. You don't have to know everything. I didn't know shit, Jason. Well, I thought I didn't. So, yeah, one takeaway.
Okay, go speak at the meetings. If you've been quiet, say something. Volunteer for squad duty, sit at the door. Volunteer to go speak at a treatment facility or whatever. But just raise your hand, like Britt just said. You know, it doesn't mean you have to sponsor anybody. You don't ever have to sponsor anybody. But be helpful. Say something. Do something. That's it. That's all you got to do. Mm-hmm. And keep doing this. And it's a great way to stay in shape.
Yes. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. And so for me, meditation, prayer, and you're right. I've changed the, prayer for me. It's just, the space that I get to, have a conversation with, I don't need to go into my stuff, but, it doesn't have to be this rhyming thing written out somebody else wrote. I just write out my own things. Yeah, sometimes I don't even need to say anything. I just write out some stuffs, and it gets it out of me anyway. And I believe it. And, meditating. Again, there's some funny stuff out there, but really meditating is what finds you that moment of peace, okay? Even if it's only 2 minutes, Jason. Guided meditation works at the beginning because your head's a rat race. And then, step 12 is my favorite because service has all different faces. And you get bored with one service, move on, do something else. Like for me, I get complacent real fast, Jason. Can you imagine? That's why I'm changing up all the time, Jason. That's why I encourage people when we do the Back to Basics workshop. If I'm doing that with you, just every time you come back, it's not going to be the same ever. That's why you're the wise force, Jason, because they can rely on that constant, consistent, beautiful foundation of wisdom. But me, I have a couple things that I like to always say, but I definitely have new stuff to put out there. It's always ever changing. And less papers now.
It changes every time. I never do it the same way twice. But
you gotta keep it fresh.
You say it, but that's why I have to keep doing the steps, and so that's why.
Okay.
But yeah, cool.
Well, thank you, Jason. Yeah. I hope you will come back on, even though we're done with the steps.
Yeah.
But I think we should get something set up, and then you come on and talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, no commitments though yet. I'm not ready for commitments yet, Jason. No. I've made a point to say no to a lot of commitments and services, and now I make a point to, Oprah taught me, anything I say yes to, what is my intention? So when people ask me oh, will you do this or do that? I'm like, well, what is your intention for what you're asking me to do, right? Yeah. If they're just trying to fill a space, I'm like, fuck, you got 25 other people to fill that space, okay? My time is valuable, you know? Everybody's time is valuable, but I have 5 kids. I'm doing my job. Like, you know, but if they have like an intention of like, well, your story, what you said to me or something you did or you have this similar whatever, if there's an intention behind it, absolutely 100% I'll always say yes. But if they're just trying to fill a space, like every guest I get, Jason, there's an intention behind it. Yes, there might be some fill-in people, but I'm asking certain people for a reason. I mean, I have a list of people that have mentioned my podcast and want to come on. I don't fucking know them, Jason. I'm like, who sent you my way? Well, what you want to share? Like, you know, like I'm not just going to invite anybody on. I did that once, Jason, based off a friend of a friend. Yeah. Mistake. Yeah. I won't call it out, but that person like was speaking some stuffs and I'm like, why did my friend recommend this person? She's the opposite of me. Okay, anyway, that's a wrap, everybody. Have a great week. Oh, believe it or not, next week, Sunday. You know what day it is?
Patty's birthday.
Oh, which is what day?
Christmas Day.
It's the 25th, Jason.
Yes.
It's some people's holidays, but guess what? We're having a show. I'm so happy my friend Gavin's coming on. Yes, I didn't think anybody would come on. I was going to have to do it by myself, Jason. But Gavin is coming on. He's youth. He's the youth viewpoint. Cool. I believe he's 21 now. Nice. Anyway, we did my very first time doing that 1-week training for Certified Peer Recovery Specialist training. Cool. I did it with him. My first time through. He's young, though. My son just thinks he's, like, amazing. Cool. He's too nervous to talk to him. So I'm like, well, he's my friend Hayden, my son. He's coming on the show. Listen to the show. He does want to hang out with you. But Hayden thinks he's too cool for him. But anyway, Gavin's coming.
And the Christmas dinner at Fridley Club. And I'm hosting the Gratitude.
Gratitude night?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to be there for the noon meal, too. So
awesome.
Come on down, Christmas Day.
Yeah, you do not have to be alone on your Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. I actually will post the information on the YouTube and the Facebook stuff. So, but yes, you definitely don't have to be alone. And all right, everybody, I'm so but thank you so much. I hope they got something out of that. I can't remember what I was going to say, Jason. I'm going to comment later. But there's something important, I think, because it's still like, I'm going to remember as soon as I hit end. Okay, guys, have a good night. Let's play the music.